Okay, this week we are going to be working on site tools. Revit can develop a site plan, a topo surface, if you will. It's not a replacement for Civil 3D or the drawings from a civil engineer, but it will give the architect the ability to create a 3D surface and do some estimated grading, if you will. See how the building sits within within the ground, and then you can add sidewalks, paving, plantings, trees, landscaping, those kinds of things to it. Okay, so this is a topo surface in the 3D view. Get it to a little too much zoom there. And it's a large surface, if you will. So we'll select it. You can see here, it's like 529,000 square feet. Okay, so pretty big site we've got here. These lines across here are what's known as contour lines, and what they are is each line is a set distance above zero or above sea level, if you will. um, and we can control the distance between them, of course, within Revit. But everything on that line is at the same elevation. So if we look at a side view here, and let me go back to hidden line. And so now these are the contour lines that you see coming across, okay? All right, so there's a couple of different ways to create this in Revit, and we're going to do well, I'm going to show you how to do both of them here, and then over the next couple of courses that you have, you're going to do both of them in your project. Oops. I don't know what this is. Okay, to start with, we're going to create a topo surface just using points. All right, and so I've opened up a new Revit file from the architectural template, and up here I want to go massing and site, and then go topo surface. We get an error warning here that says things are not visible in the current view. So you can read that. I'm going to close it, and it's because I'm on level 1, which is an architectural level. I want to be on the site level. Now my points will be visible because in visibility and graphics, all that stuff is turned off on the architectural levels. Okay, so here's our surface menu over here, and we're going to go place points. Now, what happens is this gives me an elevation for my first points that I'm going to create, and to begin with, it has to be absolute elevation. You remember back in math, absolute versus relative. Even in AutoCAD, you got absolute coordinates and relative coordinates, okay? So we're going to start with the absolute. And let's place a couple of points down here at level 0. Okay, all we've got are 2 points. So if we finished here, we would not have a topo surface because we have a line, basically, that's defined at both ends. So now let's change our absolute elevation to 6 feet and place a couple of more points in here. And you can see it starts creating a topo surface. And those are contour lines that it has put in. So let's change our elevation to 12 feet and put a couple more in up here. Okay, so now we got a topo surface that slopes from 0 feet to 12 feet. Okay, now I can change over to relative, and this means it's relative to the existing surface. And so let's make this -1 feet, and we'll put a couple of points in here. Okay, so you can see how it changes the surface. Let's change that to 3 feet. And it's going to add 3 feet to the existing surface. Okay. I'm looking at my notes. All right, so now let's press escape or modify. Maybe not escape. We just go modify to exit that command. Now, if I click on a point, it gives me the absolute elevation of that point. Okay. So I can edit that one. Let's change it to 15 feet. Okay, and so that gives me a little hilltop right there. So you can do that with any of the points, even the ones that you did in absolute. Okay, so let's finish the surface. And let's go to a 3D view. And so now you can kind of see that. We'll go to our front view and then a side. So you can see how it's created this surface for us. So in my 3D view here, let's select it. This will, anytime I select my topo surface, it'll give me the surface area or the projected area. I can change my category, my material. I'm going to make it grass. So let's do a search and add that up here. And right now it's going to appear gray. If we go to the appearance, you can see it's like site work planting grass thick. You can select that and change those. There's quite a variety of them available in Revit. We'll leave it set to gray for right now. And if I go to shaded or consistent color, now you can see it appears a little bit differently. Change material. Okay. Now this method. Now we just placed points at random in there, but this method is good in that you can bring in a two-dimensional drawing, whether it's an AutoCAD drawing, or a PDF, or even a photograph, or a JPEG image or something that has contour lines, and then you can just pick points and trace across them, which is what you're going to do in one of the assignments, okay? And you can create a topo surface from a two-dimensional drawing. Now, in order to, the other method is you actually import a three-dimensional drawing file and convert that over to a topo surface.